Hey Devika.
I am so sorry, Kansha.
No, that's completely fine. And I think at least for me, the audio and video are both working perfectly.
Okay, so perfect. So now let us begin with the questions, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So ma'am, we know that you graduated from SRCC and did your post-graduation from Indian School of Business, which both
Mm-hmm.
are very reputable institutions.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you describe your life in both of the campuses?
All right. So I think, okay, let me start with the SRCC. So,
Yeah.
like any other, or like many other students, till I was in class 12, I can call myself a nerd. I was, always into studies and
Okay.
I would just like a lot of concentration or the efforts went into scoring, good marks, good grades because, there was a particular college I wanted to get into and
Yeah.
everything. So that's how I had always been. And when I got into SRCC, I think I really wanted to kind of not just grow academically, but to grow, more holistically. And I think
Yeah.
that's why during my time at SRCC, I paid a lot of attention to doing a lot of co-curricular activities, ranging from being part of this different societies at college, to participating in case study competitions or any other competitions, and doing a lot of online courses for maybe topics which typically not covered in BCom honors. So I think that ways I was trying to do things which were just not very academically focused, because I personally felt that all my life I had just been doing that. So a lot of focus was on kind of developing my overall profile. Then at ISB, I think overall, so I don't think we talked about that, but I've always been in Delhi. So I'm born and brought up in Delhi. Then SRCC is also in Delhi. So, ISB was the first time I was actually, going out and living away from my family. So a lot of learning and experience was also from the fact that, I was kind of living on my own. And then the other thing at ISB was also the fact that so I got into ISB through the YLP program, which is basically I don't know if you're aware, but basically during the undergrad they extend you an offer to join ISB, and as a result I was one of the youngest people on campus. So it was a very different experience in terms of the people I met there. They were much more experienced, and typically, like typically I think they were all 28, 29 was the average age. They came with 5 to 6 years of industry experience, and I just went in with 2 years of industry experience. So that ways it was a very different experience there. And even in terms of my focus, again, kind of I again started focusing on my academics, because there was a certain kind of role that I wanted to get into, which
Yeah.
is consulting. And I realized that grades are important for that. So a lot of learning on campus was actually focused towards how to solve the cases better, or how to get into a consulting role. So I think till placements, I think that was how it was at ISV. And after that, though, once I got placed and everything, then a lot of time went into kind of partying. So last 3 to 4 months,
Oh,
it's a 1 year course. So I think that way is both the experiences were quite different.
okay, that's really great, ma'am. So you were the founder and president of Corporate and Interaction Cell at SRCC.
Mhm.
Yeah, so what encouraged you to develop such a site in the college?
So I think, and I think, maybe a similar thought that, probably you would have had when you were organizing this session. I think when we are in college, we get a lot of opportunities to probably be in a lot of academic societies, in a co-curricular society like dramatics, etc. However, I personally felt that, like when we take that corporate plunge, or before we take that corporate plunge, it might be useful to kind of interact with more and more organizations. And so that is the idea of founding corporate interaction cell. We used to organize industrial visits. So so basically I did it in my third year, and so I just had like a year to give to that, and we organized visits to Maruti Suzuki's factory, and
Yeah.
did sessions with ICICI Direct. So basically, the idea was to enable students to interact with the corporates and to kind of get a flavor of how the corporate life would be.
Okay. Perfect. So were you also a part of any cultural society?
So I was part of the Dramatic Society, but I was not I was part of their organization wing. So
Okay.
at SRCC, Dramatic Society has its own fest. So I was part of that.
Yeah.
I was not into dramatics at all.
Okay. Perfect. So moving on, Deloitte is one of the big four consulting firms where you worked as a senior consultant strategist, which is very eminent. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what were exactly the reasons that you made shift your career from corporate to this startup universe?
So, okay, so I think so I have been born and brought up in a business family. My dad is a
Hmm.
first generation entrepreneur, so I
Okay.
wouldn't be lying if I say that always there was this urge to do something of my own. However, and then. However, like I wouldn't say that there was any great idea or anything that I had back then. So, however, I got married in 2019, and my husband is an avid gardener. He's also in Alum of IIM Ahmedabad. So, with the two MBAs in the family, we decided that
Oh,
we'll
that's
do
great.
something of our own, and that's how the entire idea of Alvan was born.
Okay. That's really great. So could you elaborate some of the job responsibilities when you worked at Deloitte?
So, okay, so basically, as you said, right, I was in the management consulting division. In terms of jobs and responsibilities, I think so. Maybe let me give you a little more about what the kind of work I used to do. So basically, I was in the the strategy and operations practice, and a lot of so basic it was a more like a project driven approach. There for each project there was a different problem statement that we were trying to solve for the client, and the kind of work that I would do would typically depend on what the problem statement was. To give you a few examples, so I usually used to work in the financial services industry, so which is banks, payment companies, and insurance companies, etc. And to give you some projects or some sample projects which I did, or if you want to just know what are the kind of projects a typical consulting firm does. So for example, there was a bank in India who was just launching their operation. So we designed the processes for them, how their account opening process should look like,
Okay.
or how their cash deposit process should look like, and then also help them kind of develop it, worked with their technology teams to develop those systems to have all those functionalities in their website, in their application, and then once it was developed, to test it. So this was a typical project which was operational design to implementation. There were a lot of projects that would end just at strategy phase. So for example, there was a project we did for a travel company, and we were trying to analyze that what are the typical issues their customers are facing in making payments. So we analyze the voice of the customer through the customer surveys or the customer feedback forms, and try to analyze what are the different pain points that the customers had, and then devised methods to kind of take them to a more ideal payments state. So this was more of a strategy project. There was no operation, there was no implementation. It was a short project and 6 to 8 weeks. So these are the like I thought it might just be helpful to give you some example
It's
projects that
very
I did.
helpful. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what are the challenges you are facing now that you are an entrepreneur after 4 years of working in a corporate firm?
I think I wouldn't call them challenges. I think they are like they are part and parcel. There are things that definitely are happening differently. So I think when you're an entrepreneur or you're doing something of your own, I think the overall the stakes or the responsibilities are much bigger. If anything is not done, if you don't do anything, if you screw up, the downside is much more. And then I think the kind of ownership that you have to take, you have to kind of run the show, and that too with I would say kind of minimal resources. So, for example, if I was in Deloitte and there was a project that needed a team of five, we would have a team of five. But now that we are here, if there's something that needs a team of five, we probably can't afford it. So it's just me and my partner who would hustle and try to do it with the whatever limited resources we have. So I think that's the kind of things which are quite different.
Okay. So, ma'am, could you tell us something about your startup and what encouraged you to go through with it?
All right. So basically, it started during the pandemic. So, like I said, that my husband, he's an avid gardener, and during 2020 when the pandemic hit, like most of other people, there was not a lot we could do over the weekends, and gradually I started participating with him in upkeeping our garden and taking care of the plants, and I realized that that is something very very interesting. Like before that I'd never been into gardening. I did not have any plants I used to take care of, but
Okay.
I started loving it, and then I realized that gardening as a hobby was very very relaxing, very calming, and that's when so like the two of us, we decided that we'll probably take this hobby to more and more people, and we started doing gardening workshops, online gardening workshops during the first wave, and we got an overwhelming response from across India. There were people from all over the country who joined these workshops, and and the response was something we didn't even expect. Like there was 6 hour workshop that we would do on some days because we could only spare our weekends for it, and people love to participate for even such long hours. So kind of told us how enthusiastic people are about it, and so that's how it started. And then from these workshops, one of the major things that came up was that people found it difficult to procure the right kind of plants, the right kind of material, and even kind of sometimes struggling with getting the right kind of guidance for gardening. And that's how the entire concept of Arvan was born. So Arvan is basically, right now we're working on it's in the strategy phase. We're looking to launch somewhere in July. The idea is Urban One, so to get forest to urban homes.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's
That is
gonna
really unique.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
thanks. Yeah.
really, really great, and all the very best, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, and moving on, if you had to go back and change your campus experience all over again, what would you change and why?
So, I think I wouldn't say that there's a lot I would like to change. I think I mean it's for everyone that maybe I have been overall satisfied with the decisions that went. If, however, so for example, I talked about SRCC, and how I thought that it was not the time I would again concentrate on my academics. I would rather grow or or participate in a lot more different things. So I think, however, the first year, like when I went, so I started in 2011. I was very shy. I didn't participate in a lot of activities back then for a year. So it took me some time to adjust. Maybe I don't like maybe adjusting to the new environment. And so I would say that maybe that is something that I could have started a year earlier. Like everything I started was majorly towards my second year. So that is just a small thing that maybe I wasted maybe one third of the time I had in SRCC. In ISB, I think I was, which is a good, I mean, which worked as well. So I kind of knew the kind of role I wanted to get into and everything. But I think that that kind of limited the opportunities I was trying to explore. So to give you an example, so I was a commerce graduate, then I went to EXL, I was in
Yeah.
the finance transformation division, and then in ISB also a lot of courses that I did was around strategy and finance. However, if I had to do it again, I think that I should have explored courses across domains, marketing, technology, etc. Because
Yeah.
now, especially now that we are doing things of our own, I think that it's important that we realize all the different aspects of our business rather than just become an expert in one.
Mm. So basically, in school time, you were more into studies, and in your college time, you were like in other things as well.
Right, right. School time tak to
Yeah.
I was not even like I wouldn't even be comfortable in a conversation like this. So I was always
Okay.
in my books.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so guys, now I'm opening the house of questions from the audience as well. So whatever you wanna ask, you can put in the comment box and we'll take them one by one.
Alright.
Okay, so there's a question from Ananya Sabu. Which online course did you take up in during college? Online
So
course.
yeah, so there's a website called Coursera. I'm sure a lot of you must be knowing about it. I used to take a lot of courses on that. I did course in Introduction to Finance, and I did it in my first year. That time we weren't introduced to finance, so finance electives came in third year. So I did courses on Introduction to Finance and Operations Management, Competitive Strategy, Game Theory. So
Okay.
typically subjects that were not part of our curriculum, but were kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah,
So
guys, you can ask more questions.
there's a question, I think, in a management consulting firm, what could be a strategy to climb up the ladder faster than others? So, okay. So I think consulting firms are typically, anyway, very cutthroat. There's a lot of there's a lot of competition and everything. However, not just consulting firms. I think overall, I think a few things that help you, work well is first, like at least I have felt have worked well for me have been first always try and understand what work you're doing. It's I think it's a small thing, but it's very very important. Sometimes when we have a lot of work to do, and a senior would come and say कि ये कर दो, हम पूछते भी नहीं है कि ये क्यों करना है. How does it fit in the
हाँ.
entire bigger picture? I think that's very
Yes.
important to understand your work because when you understand it is when you can actually contribute. More you can come up with your ideas. So I think that's one. Second, never shy from giving your ideas, right? No, don't think कि मैं तो अभी consultant ही हूँ. Like in a consulting firm, you always start at a consultant level. So that's maybe in the hierarchy, you may be at the bottom, but sometimes the best ideas come from consultants. So we should never shy from giving our ideas. Whatever we have, कुछ भी सोचा है, anything innovative, we should
Hmm.
be very freely talking about it. And
Okay, we
then,
should have confidence.
I'm sorry.
Confidence is the key.
Yeah, confidence is the key. I mean, a lot of times हम लोग कुछ सोचते हैं and then we are like कि नहीं नहीं बताते पता नहीं क्या how will it be taken.
हाँ.
I think no
Yeah.
one no one likes this or dislikes ideas. So even if it is good, even if it is bad, just tell it and brainstorm with your seniors or with your managers, and they always appreciate it.
Okay, amazing. That's really nice. Okay, now there's one more question. How was your experience with campus placements after graduation?
So campus placement experience. So I think so. I got through got into EXL through SRCC's placement cell, like the placement procedure. I think one strategy that I had was, when applying to companies, was that I kind of had some idea of what I wanted to do, and that is why a lot of roles that came early into the placement process, I did not apply for those, right? So if I knew कि ये वाला role नहीं करना है, yeah, this is the kind of profile I don't want to get into. I think I that was a little courageous decision to take, because जब companies आती हैं, then we are in this race and then everyone is getting placed. So I got placed really late because I was very selective in applying to different roles. So, in terms of the experience, I think so. The placement cell in SRCC, I think it did a good job. There were good opportunities that came on campus. But as I said, like for any job or anything, I think there's not a lot to worry. I mean, you'll get into something which is great for you. Just just have some clarity on what you want to do, and don't be कि यार सब place हो रहे हैं मैं भी apply करता हूँ. If you think कि वो आपको नहीं पसंद है, don't do that role.
Okay, that's really nice. There's one more question. When do you think any CAT aspirant should start the preparation?
So unfortunately, ISB, I did not I'm not the right person to answer a CAT question, because ISB admits based on your GMAT score. So yeah, but however, I think as I said, my husband, he's from Ahmedabad. So I would say that a lot of people, I think when you should give good time to your CAT preparation. Like if you are planning it typically people give it in third year, if you want to do it with college. So third year ke November mein, if you're giving that attempt, then at least you should start in January. Like that's the least I would
Yeah.
say. A lot of people start earlier and then they feel कि सब भूल जाते हैं. But January I think is a sweet spot to kind of start. But I am not an expert and not the right person to answer.
Okay. So what's the most important skill required to hustle in consulting? A question by Siddharth Kaushik.
So, I don't know. I am not sure I got the question right. Okay, so what's the most important skill required to hustle in consulting? I think, I mean, I mean, to hustle, there's no skill, I would say, required. I mean, so as I said, I think we've kind of covered that as well. कि consulting हो या कहीं पे भी हो, I think what is really important is that, you kind of understand the work that you are doing. You bring new ideas to the table, and, you should make your presence felt. And I think if you are in consulting or a non-consulting role, that will help you shine out.
Okay. So now what is your MBA specialization?
So I specialized in strategy and finance from
Okay, that's
SBI.
great. That's great. Guys, any more questions? Yeah, so were you always sure about pursuing an MBA or did you have other options in mind as well?
So I did have other options in mind. Always I think whenever I've planned my career, I have had my first preferred option, and I have also had my second or third option. Like if things didn't go well, what would be the other thing I would do? So as I said, while I was in SRCC and then even in EXL, I really liked finance as a domain.
Hmm.
So I also enrolled for the CFA program. I just did level 1, and then once I went into ISB, the whole focus was towards consulting. So I did not complete the CFA with the CFA charter, but basically that was my second option if MBA hadn't worked out.
Okay, that's really nice. Guys, any more questions?
I think so there's one more. I think I'm doing an MBA, but I'm not able to communicate to each other. I think. So I think what I understand is that this is around ability to communicate. I think so. I would say that I was in a similar boat as I was saying, right? Like कि अगर if if a few years back I wouldn't have been comfortable with the conversation like this. So I think that's fine. I think sometimes we attach a lot of importance to ourselves and we feel कि अगर हम communicate करेंगे तो सारे हमारी गलतियां ही देखेंगे, which is not the case. I think like this is not how things happen. I think we should, I mean, obviously it's very easy to say, but you should just have confidence in what you're saying in yourself. And I mean, the entire fear around what will people say is actually just something that you build on your own. It's not like that. People are not judging. They have other things to do. So don't be worried about what people are going to say. I personally feel that that is the biggest roadblock when anyone is not able to communicate or
Yeah.
probably has stage fright, that people are going to judge. I think that's all in your
Hmm.
head. So I would say,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. So MBA or CSA, what do you ma'am, I'm able
Sorry,
to you?
I lost you.
Okay. MBA or CSA, what do you think is better?
So I think both the courses, are great. So as I said, I did not complete the CFA program. However, if anyone who knows that it's the finance domain that they want to get into, a typical corporate finance, investment banking role, then CFA is a great program. And however, for MBA, I mean, I think MBA overall as an individual, it helps you grow. So I mean, the courses you study are just a very small part of the entire MBA program. I think it's a lot more. You meet a lot of people, you network with people, and you learn so much from them. So I think MBA is a different ballgame. I mean, I personally found the entire 1 year I spent at ISB as a very or most important year of my life in terms of my career.
Hmm. Okay. So how has been shift to be an entrepreneur from corporate dream?
So far so good. I think it's just it's not, I wouldn't say it's been a long time. As I said, till May I was with Deloitte. We were kind of doing with the full time role, and so overall it has been great. I think when you start something of your own. Um, Overall you get to kind of so if you have an idea you can work on it, and you start, so there's that instant gratification, and even small achievements are something you can celebrate. I think so these are some great things about being an entrepreneur, or starting anything of your own. And it need not be a business. Like even if you were starting,
Hmm.
maybe even if you organize a small event, I think the success, like the feel that you get after it is a success, I think it's unparalleled. So I
Okay.
think it's been great so far. It all obviously comes with its own challenges, which we'll see as we go
Okay.
forward.
So yeah, there's one more question. What's your key to moving forward when you face failures or disappointment? That's a really nice question, I guess.
Okay, so I think one thing, as I just spoke about, that at least when I was preparing, when I was in class 12, or when I had to get into college, my undergrad or my postgrad, I think one thing that always helped me was kind of having a second option. I mean, fortunately, I got into what I was kind of aiming to, but had I, not been able to get into SRCC or ISB back then, I think an option to kind of helps, so it ensures, like, see, there'll be some disappointment, but I think
Hmm.
it shouldn't have a long-term impact on your career. It's not the end of the world. I mean, if you think about, how my journey has been, or, a lot of people, like I went SRCC, ISB, and now I'm doing a thing of my own, and still there are skills that I don't have as an entrepreneur. So I think it's not कि कुछ like if you have to get somewhere एक particular college या एक particular way ही है. I mean, if things don't work out, you'll find your way around it, and then nothing is the end of the world, I think.
Okay, yeah. She was asking that how you keep yourself motivated.
So, how I keep myself motivated? Okay, so I think again, I think this is very important now that you started this journey as an entrepreneur, or we're starting up, because every day is a new challenge, and frankly, every day there are there are these feelings ki yes, things aren't working out, and maybe it was not the right, I think it keeps coming. I think something
Yeah,
that helps me being kind of being able to or keep myself going is the fact that I kind of think of what's out there, if I'm able to crack what I'm headed for. So if this venture becomes a success, what's the upside, and on the other hand, what's the downside, like what's the maximum I'm going to lose, right? Maybe it's just going to be 1 or 2 years or anything, and then I'll maybe go back to my job. So even if this thing fails, right, I'll go back, or maybe I'll start something again. So I think it's important that we see what's the upside, what's the downside, and sometimes we give a lot of importance to the downside, and that's kind of demotivates us. So I think I just weigh that ways, and always know कि बहुत options होंगे. So
hmm.
yeah.
Okay. What's your success mantra?
So there's no success mantra. I don't think I am that successful as well, but I think I think things that have helped me overall, so far in my journey have been that I kind of try to see what I want out of life. So. And then kind of have my try and design my own path towards it. I think it's very important for anyone. If there's anything that you want to do, if you want to, if you're in ISB, or if you're doing an MBA, I mean, it's very important to know what you want out of it, what's your end goal, and then try and devise your own path towards it. So I think that typically helps. Like just design your own journey. I think because it's going to be very different, and do your research, speak to as many people as possible, and then try and take your own decisions.
That's really amazing, ma'am. Okay, last question but not the least. Is there some advice you would like to give all the undergraduates?
So, okay, so I think to all the undergrads, I would just say, like just I was saying, right, ki first thing is very important thing is ki just know where you want to go in your life. Speak to a lot of people, but then there's no recipe, and there's no recipe to success. So, apna, try and make try and design your own path, because it will vary, like your journey will vary, the decisions you take will vary. So I think that's very important, that take charge and
Hmm.
design your own path. Second is, I think anyone who's done an post or an MBA would have heard this word a lot. But I think one important thing is to network, to speak to
Hmm.
people, to talk to people like
Yeah,
your teachers, your seniors, your batchmates. It's very important. Everyone has, like किसी से भी बात करोगे, you will always learn something out of that conversation. So always,
definitely.
wherever you are, like even if you're doing an internship or anything, it's important that you network, you speak to people, try and understand, decisions they took, how it impacted. So learn from others' journey as much as you can. And then the third thing would be to keep exploring. I think, like it's good to know, like I said, कि अपना पता होना चाहिए कि where you want to go. But at the same time, you should also keep exploring different domains. Like don't be too stuck on things, like I was right कि मैंने सोचा finance ही करना है. Now I think कि नहीं यार, I should have taken some courses in marketing, some courses in technology, HR, right? So that I knew different aspects of a business. So I
Yeah,
think that's very important. I think we tend to choose what subject or domain we want to specialize in very early on. I think at least undergrad में you should explore different things,
explore. Yeah.
do different types of internships. अपने societies में हो तो do different types of roles, but see what is there in marketing, what is there in HR. Don't decide too early.
Okay. That was a great session, ma'am. I know that there were a lot of technical glitches in the beginning, but seriously, I personally enjoyed going very much from you, with you. And I'm sure that everyone who has joined the live today must have learned some great and valuable insights from you. Thank you so much for sparing your time with us.
Thank you so much, Devika. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you
Yeah,
everyone who joined in, and thank you the placement cell for organizing it so well. I think glitches तो होते रहते हैं, but thank you so much. It was amazing meeting you and everyone in the audience.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I think that it's time to end with the live.
All right, bye bye. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a good
Bye.
evening. Bye bye.
Good evening.